Hi, good morning, good morning. It is March 24th. It is Monday. It is 6:32. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. I'm also the founder of the Red Dog Mindset. Hopefully everyone's feeling good, had a great weekend, watched a little basketball, and getting ready for the day. So here we are. The futures are up like 60 handles, just like that. Some think, hey, why is this? I thought we were in a corrective tape. Well, you do get trading back and forth. It all depends on the narrative and what's going on. And there was some articles this week on how the April 2nd tariffs are going to be focused and not a big blanket. And people are like, what could you have seen? Well, we did close pretty well on Friday, and one of the biggest stocks in the market that's been absolutely annihilated led the way, which we'll get to it. So there were some signals to put a little bit of risk on. I wouldn't say massive risk, but definitely some things took back some moving averages. Some things said, hey, cover some shorts. If you wanted to put on a few hedges and some options, this and that, I get it. But all in all, let's look at some of the charts. You look here at the SPYs. We opened up down 50 handles on Friday, and what did we do? We closed well off lows. We reclaimed this 559, reclaimed 561, and closed okay. So now what? You have to ask yourself, now what? So if you're not long anything, you have to say, how do I make money today? And relieve the pressure of or fear of or being upset about not having a huge amount of positions on. So here is 570.60. We're opening right into where we stalled 3 different times. Here's your 200-day. So the question is, do we hold our opening gains? So what's going to probably happen is if people are short, they're going to come in, they're going to fade a little bit more SPYs in the first 5, 15, 30 minutes to try and trade out of it. If you can't pull in the first 30 minutes, all those secondary shorts come in, and all of a sudden they have to cover because you get over the high of the morning. And then those people who aren't long will say, hey, you know what, we just took back the 200-day. Now we can get maybe towards the 21-day, which is 573. So then that will be how the morning goes. And then you have really, this is probably where, we could possibly see this type of bounce back to 580, 585. You should write that down. So from 570 to 585, there's still a lot more here besides whatever this gap is going to be. And by the way, you're going to have a big opening gap now to see if it holds. And if it does hold, then we'll have gap pivots to be long against for the week. So just because you missed the first part of the gap up, if you're not that long, let it go. There'll be ways to make money. Who knows? Maybe you come in flat and you short the first move, SPY's pulling $1, you make some money. It puts a 15, 30-minute low. You could buy versus that, and then things trend, and you look for the relative strength, and it turns into a great day. So for me, I did some good things. I did some things that I could have done better. I did get not massively, but, really long Tesla. Why did I get long Tesla? I did go over this on Friday. With the Alpha team, I went over this, went over it, pre-market. I posted the chart. I said, Tesla for the first time was really tight. You had Elon talking to his employees, trying to reaffirm that, that you should hold your stock and this and that. And PS, what could you have seen with Tesla to be long the stock? Well, it was holding 229, got above 238, got above 242. And all morning when they tried to sell the market, it was green. All morning they tried to pressure the tape, and it didn't go down. For the first time in like weeks, I follow Tesla all the time. Listen, I had a big money trade here from the election all the way up. He was your red dog reversal sell. We had lower highs the whole way down. It hurt a few different times, but at this point, it's getting a little follow through. It's up 10. So congratulations if you took Tesla home. I am long Tesla. I just trimmed a little bit. One of my sell rules is sell when a gap is in your favor. Tesla's up 10. I'm trimming some. It's at 558. Where's the 21-day here? The 21-day is, closer to 565. So there's still some room here. So I wouldn't just be fading Tesla just because it's been so fadeable the past month. So hopefully, you're long some and you're making some money. I just trimmed a little bit. I'm going to be holding some. So, this is the Alpha team. This is everybody. Everyone's waking up saying good morning. So they get to see. Let's see if it actually showed. Yeah, see. So it shows that, I trimmed some Tesla at 630. Palantir I have overnight. Dash I have overnight. This Pal I have overnight. I have some options on. I do have some SPY puts too that'll lose some money, but I'll live. So I only have 4 longs on, in my active and swing account. So it's not like I'm, guns a-blazing today. Yeah. So, but it's good to have a little bit of a head start. I'm going to try and figure out how to make money after the open. Some people again, where do you think we can go? I'm thinking this week, depending, obviously, we'll see how it goes. 580, 585 is a spot. If you go to the Qs, it too has like a little descending channel here with all these, tails. It's opening above 485. Where could this get to? This can get to 498 this week if we get the perfect scenario where you get this oversold bounce and some of the leaders lead. There's a lot of descending channels out there that will be add an area to see whether it breaks to the upside. So above 485, and then it's a lot of risk. That's a lot of moving averages right there in the 490s. So that's probably where potentially it can go. So what would be a good focus? I think Amazon's a good focus. Descending channel here. I know that last week was a tough week. Last week, things went, and then if you remember, I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday where Meta and Amazon had a really strong day, made some money, and then on the pullback I bought it, and then it just didn't stop going down. But anyway, this 199 is big, and then here's a lot of this. All these things have a lot of resistance above. So the question is, how do they deal with the resistance above? So first step is getting above, this 199, and then you have a trade into the moving averages. And then there's another set of moving averages. So the question is, where is it going to go? So I think Amazon can give some good clues. And I think Meta, Meta gets above this 610. It also has all these moving averages. So the question is, what rejects price? This was what? This was 610. Does it get above and stay above 610? Where's Meta right now? Meta is, right there. So again, you're missing a little bit of a head start if you're not in there earlier. Meta gave you some clues, but Meta was tough too. Again, like I said, on this day, we all were long Meta, sold into some strength. They started buying a dip at 601 and then went all the way down to, like 586. That's not so easy. But anyway, does it get above 610? If it does, there's another 10 points there. So you have to figure out how to engage it. I do have some IBIT calls on. To me, Bitcoin was acting better. Actually, Mr. was also acting better. Put on this as a power play too. So power play should be making some decent money option wise. I think this is 49.23. This is where it kind of kissed. What's IBIT doing this morning? Last I looked, it was up a decent amount. It's up 220. So that'll be helpful. Hopefully my IBIT calls should counteract my SPY puts. So, all in all, it's not the end of the world. Mr., which I went over last week, I was showing you how Mr. was hanging in there pretty well. Unfortunately, I don't have any Mr. on, but Mr., look at that. Mr. for the first time was really tight. Mr., there were dip buyers all week. Now this, had a nice little bull flag. It's probably above 310 right now on its way to 320. Where's Mr. right now? It is, 320. It's so funny how, I just know where these levels are, and, I know perception. So if you're still in this, I think some guys are still in some options. Did my options expire Friday for Mr.? They did, but whatever. So Mr.'s acting better. So I'm happy for you guys that are in Mr. that bought some options last week that stayed with them. Some guys are in MSTU, so if that's you, congratulations. Let's see what's going on with the let's see what some of my dogs from around the world are saying. Feels like everyone's a little sleepy this morning. Space Special says I'm in 98% account in stocks from Friday. That's good. Good for you. That's a lot. You must have really went after it. Jim is saying, "What's good morning from the Ukraine?" The UK. We got Bobby 4.0 working on himself. It's always good to see Bobby. We got Thomas in the house. We have Kenneth in the house. We have Caracas in the house. What up, Scotty Gids? So I gotta say, I'm sure some people definitely put on a little risk based on the action Friday. But if you didn't put on a ton of risk, I get it. I wish I had more risk on myself. Apple reversed yesterday. Some people actually, there are guys that play the rebalance game. They're like, Apple was just a rebalance SPY. So there are some people that are probably pretty short actual stocks because, typically the way the game is played for an OpEx, they have these buy, programs into the close, which they did, and that's why that last 5 to 7 minutes was so strong. And then some people say that was, baloney buying, and then they short the close. So if you shorted the close because you were so bearish and you thought it was just a mechanical buy program, you're coming in and you have some things to think about. So again, if I came in short, which I'm not short, I would fade a little bit. And if they can't pull them in, you better get out of the way and cover it, because then you're going to be trapped the rest of the week. If you come in flattish, I wouldn't buy the open, but if they can't pull them in, there'll be a lot of price points to buy through, and you can make some day trading money. And if you come in long a little bit, like I'm long, so I'm long Tesla a little bit, I'm going to trim some. I'm long Palantir. Why am I long Palantir? Look at that. Palantir actually looks best. Palantir led the market down with Tesla. So both of these things perked up. Like Palantir perked up, gave you every reason to be long it if you wanted to be. I actually got long at the end of the day, which I'm a little happy about. It's not having huge upside, but it's up $1.73. So there's still some room here. This is what? This is what is this? This is 93.62. So I would say there's at least room to 93.62, and then and then you have a move up towards 100. There's really nothing over here, so I would not be fading Palantir. If anything, trim some and use it. This still has some room to the upside if you think we're going to hold up today. So I do think that Palantir and Tesla. If you are technical and you look at things technically, both gave you small reasons to be long it into today. And if you took them, congratulations. And if you didn't, and you're upset about it, you got to figure out how to re-engage it. Dash, I've been in since all of last week. Dash is a power play also. We'll see what happens. Dash actually didn't have a buy into the close, but it looks much better than most things. If it gets above 195.21, this thing has some room to the upside. So Dash looks pretty good. ISRG Beck is asking me about. I'll take a look. I haven't looked at that stock in a long time. Looks kind of broken, just like everything else below the 200-day. There are a lot of lower pivots, a lot of lower areas that look like bear flags. They could have been a bear flag, and they might squeeze to the upside. That's what's happening this morning. A lot of bear flags are squeezing to the upside. Nvidia's not doing a whole lot this morning. Nvidia's got this lower wedge. It'll be interesting to see how it does today. The bears will probably try and press this to give themselves a way out. Sometimes, sellers that need a way out, they focus on a stock that everyone looks at. So maybe if they start bringing Nvidia down, it'll bring out some sellers. But chances are, if they can't break it, they're going to trap some shorts, and then maybe you get an entry. So this is really nowhere. Like if you look at Nvidia right now, it's only about $1.75. So it's at 119.45, which is just over yesterday's high, and this is so it's right into the so Nvidia, you didn't miss anything. This is 122. If Nvidia is going to have a day, you could still look at Nvidia to see if you can get some kind of entry there. So anyway, this looks decent. So if they can't sell Nvidia down, which is probably what they're going to use to try, I think you could focus on this for more upside. What else? I wouldn't go across the board. Most things look the same. They're all trying broken bounces. Some things look better than others. Again, I would say Amazon is interesting. Amazon should be able to get up into the 200s if it could hold 199. I think Meta could see a move towards 620 or more. It's got to get above and stay above 610. I am in Tesla, even though I trimmed some. I might add some back. The 21-day isn't up till 267. Right now, Tesla is only at 258-ish, so it's got another $6, $7, $8. So there's still things that you could put on. As far as my blood in the street account, some of you guys asked me about, like, Redler, what about your blood in the street account? How much did you put to work? I only put a third to work. Okay, so a third. I would have liked to have done more. We only pulled 10.5% off highs. I only start when we're like 6, 7, 8% off highs. I don't add for 4 or 5%. It didn't happen. Some people are like, well, where would you sell it? I don't know. It all depends. Usually, once I put the blood in the street account to work, I don't sell it for months until we put a new high in. So I try and carve out 5, 6% in each tier. But since I only have a third on, and we're down, 10.5% from the highs, and I don't think we're going to just all of a sudden make new highs in the next 3 months. If we got to 580, 585 and closed there, same way I had to buy in the hole because I have to, execute on the close. In here, maybe I would sell half of that and then, and then be able to be more manageable, or I'd just sit in it because I also have a 401k at 510 and all those things going on. So anyway, it's 6:47. Daniel Hoffman says, hey, they only really pumped the market on the Friday in the last 10 minutes, all to take advantage of the cheapo. Okay. Almost happens every day now. They're squeezing the shorts. Yeah. So they did. That's what, that's the you have to understand so many things in this market. You have to understand the mechanics. You have to understand where the algos are. You have to understand how things are programmed. You have to understand where the flows are. And yes, there was a push into the end of the day because there was a buy program that had a, rebalance from equities to bonds to whatever it was. So there are people that are probably miserable right now because they're short because they shorted the close, saying, hey, that was a buy program to mess with the options, and now all of a sudden you're walking in, the futures are up 60 handles. So that's one form of miserable. There's another form of miserable that people aren't as long as they want, and they're missing this up open, and they were trying to be long Thursday, Friday. And then, and then there's guys who just have some gratitude. I have some gratitude that I do have full, I have a bunch of longs on. I have some options that aren't going to work. I'm not, I'm not coming in high-fiving everyone because there was no reason to be so excessively long, but there was some reasons to have some on and be a little bit flexible. So either which way, don't be miserable. It's a freaking Monday. Deal with the trade, get over it, figure out how to adjust, and don't be behind the eight ball the whole week, because if all of a sudden you're short and you just roll these shorts up all week and they don't give you a way out, you're going to be miserable all week. If, you start revenge trading because you're not long enough and you buy the open and it takes an hour, you might not be able to sit in it. So just take a deep breath and just figure out what the right trade is at the right time and have some gratitude for some small wins. And again, being miserable is no way to go about this stuff anyway. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to make some money. Jim Cobbett says, could you look at Vive, please, RD? Holding up well. I don't really look at that one, but I'll look at a few. Looks pretty good. Also open lower, took back to moving averages, has a decent pattern. I don't know a lot about this. What's it doing this morning? It's up a bunch. Yeah, I would trim some and hold some. Here's your next point of reference. Looks better than some other names. Not so bad. Opinion on ARTS, ARTS. No, it's ARTW, ARTS. I'm getting the wrong one up. Anyway, Bobby 4.0 says he feels terrific today. Listen, you got to feel good on a Monday. Someone asked me about, but what about ASTS? ASTS is hard. I've been trying to play this thing, and although it had a nice little reversal on Monday, overall this pattern is just a pain in the butt. Overall, I would look at Shay, SHAAY. He's on Twitter. He gives you such a deep dive into all these names, and he says that it's not about broadband anymore. It's not about the internet. It's about satellites, and that's what's going to give you cell service moving forward. Some people think this is a $55 stock. It's really not doing a whole hell of a lot this morning. Give you a small reversal. If you haven't been in this, there's a whole lot of space up here. So maybe you bought a little bit on Friday. I have some options. If you can get through here, there's better action. There's a little bit better option there. Baba, I made a lot of money in Baba this year, but then last week Baba hurt. I thought we would continue. I rolled up my options in Baba and I lost some money there. It pulled back into the 21-day. We'll see. It's not really showing some power this morning. The Chinese names are, some feel like money's got to come out of the Chinese names to go into the U.S. names, but I don't think it has to be like, one or the other. At times it is one or the other. Sometimes they can move together. We'll see. I was long down here. I made a lot of money in these options. And then right when we had this move, remember, finally got through 145, I did sell half my calls into everything. And then I rolled them up into like 150s and 155. So last week, my Bob options hurt. I'm not really expecting a whole lot. Here's 136.47. I don't know if I'm going to go along the name itself, but we'll see. What's Baba doing this morning? Baba it's up a buck. It's not the end of the world that it came into the 21-day from where it came from. It just, I would have thought maybe there would have been more momentum there. But anyway, so with that said, see if, this is a nice little thing to look at here. Does Tesla, hold up 9 and change and not sell off and go up 14, 15? Does Nvidia, do they try and bring it in so they could let some shorts out and then hold in there? Nvidia, if it holds in there, it's really nowhere. There might be a way to rebuy into here. I know there's some news out there that China came up with some chips just as fast for a lot cheaper, but whatever. Then you have BABA. Palantir actually is not up that much itself. I think there's some room to 93.5. So there's still a lot you guys could do if you drop your stress and say, hey, I'm not in this huge gap up, or I'm not where exactly I want to be, and get where you need to go. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's Monday. I'm going to go do about 30, 40 charts for the Alpha team. I'm going to get the node written for Redler All Access. I already did everything I have to do for Red Dog Mindset. A lot of you guys are tuning in at 20 at 5:20. We did a really good workout this morning. Thought about all these things we went over in our head. Did a little dumbbells. We did a little core. We did a little bit of, plyometrics. So we did a little bit of everything. And then I did a double barrel today. I did my tub, and then I went in the barrel, because some people are like, hey, Red Dog, I don't have a barrel. I can't go in. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to do one for me and one for you, because we're in this together. I've been doing this for 25 plus years, and I'm trying to help as many people as possible, and we're all trying to make some money and have a little fun. Did you guys see Maryland yesterday? Go Maryland. Sorry for you St. Johnny's fans, but Maryland, wow, what an ending. My son's a big Maryland fan, so it was a lot of fun last night. So hopefully you enjoyed the tournament, and you're doing decent on your brackets. I'll see you soon.